How's life been since Wimbledon?
It has been good. I've been actually very relaxed. Didn't do a lot of crazy things. Let's say I was busy, but I don't know, relaxed and organizing well my days to be able to rest a little bit and be with my family and go to the beach at the summertime. And I actually started practicing very early. I wanted to not wait so long because I felt that when I ended up pretty good with my body, so I said, hey, let's keep training and come to Stanford.
Did you? How different did this feel than after you won the French? I know it's two different situations because you had to go to Mallorca and everything was very fast. But how different was this, and why? What do you think?
Well, French Open, I was more shocked. And it was more emotional. Being the first, I think a little bit more emotional, and it's true that I had to play right away in grass, and it was very different. And I think I couldn't really realize it, until a couple of weeks later. But this one caught me in a more experienced moment, and I know where I stand a little bit more, so not that surprised. So, looking forward to keep playing, basically.
Do you feel quite a bit different then than after that victory? There's been a lot of discussion about how you had such a difficult time after winning the French. Is it way in the back of your mind at all that I have to make sure that doesn't happen again, or are you just what's your attitude going forward?
Yeah, it did hurt a lot that me after French Open was not as good, but it was very hard always to keep winning that much, or every week. And I know it's going to be hard again now. But this time I'm not worried because I know it's more normal, it can happen. So I'm not going to be less frustrated or less, I'm going to just expect that it can happen. Hopefully I'm going to work and, just being humble and try to don't expect myself to play like I played those 2 weeks the rest of the year because it's difficult. And that's it.
With time having passed, I mean, when you think back on Wimbledon, what is the memory that first pops into your head? Is it ball? Is it match point? Something earlier?
What comes to my mind? Well, a lot of things. One thing that I really remembered is going to the final, walking through the court that you go through the members area and stuff, and saying to myself, like, 2 years after, I'm back here, and I feel good. I'm like, this is the situation where I want to be. No matter what happens now, win or lose, these are the moments where I never know if I was going to be after Serena final, be able to be there again, because grass has always kind of surprised people. So I was happy to be there, walk on the court, and feeling like, hey, I'm here again in another final.
Are you more relaxed or more focused, or can you be both?
I don't think I'm relaxed. I think it's very hard to be. I think I'm really hungry of keep, this level. And like I said at the beginning of the year, I want to really improve my consistency. That's what I'm really working on and trying to, now keep playing, not waiting. I chose to keep with my calendar, even if it's 1 week in between. I'm like, no, let's keep playing. Doesn't matter what happens. I just want to have the chance to go on the court, and I don't know. I want to keep this vibe, so hopefully I can do it.
So do you come here to Stanford thinking I want to win this and piggyback off the last one, or is this more of a build-up toward the U.S. Open?
No, I'm here because I want to win, of course. And every tournament that I play, I want to win. We all know that there is, the finals, American swing, the U.S. Open, but every tournament counts because I will, the tournaments before the Grand Slam is gonna really tell you if you're prepared or you're not prepared. I mean, after the magic can happen and you can play amazing, but I felt also sometimes that, I'm playing very good, and maybe the tournaments before didn't go that well. But I just really, want to keep doing what I'm doing.
When you look back at how well you played in the 2 majors you won, and then you try to compare that with how you play at other events, do you find that you're more tuned in when you're playing at Wimbledon, the French Open, than maybe if you're playing in a less high-profile event? Is that something you have to address?
I think it's natural. Also, you know, when you go to these tournaments and that you dream of when you're a kid, and I don't know, major, you kind of get more excited and more motivated, and it doesn't mean that you're not in the other tournaments, but I don't know what happens. Maybe in my case that I find something connects, and it just works good.
So growing up, then you weren't necessarily daydreaming about winning the Stanford event?
Well, I didn't know it existed when I was younger. I always, when I was putting the TV, they always put the Grand Slam and the final, not even the first rounds. So that's what, and especially in Spain, when you grow up and you only hear French Open, you have to, when you're training, it's funny, when you're training and you're practicing, okay, at this point you have to play like the French Open final, like no other tournament exists. And I'm like, and what happens with the US Open? French Open, so that's it.
It sounds like, though, you are feeling different and better about yourself right now than you did at the same time after the French Open a year ago.
Do I?
Yeah, you feel more confident, more settled, and
yeah, I think I'm a different player as well, because it's only 1 year, but it seems like such a long time for us. In a short career, you feel like every year is so important, and I do feel different. I know, like what I told Courtney before, like I know what to expect a little bit more. Nothing's gonna take me by surprise that much this year, so I don't know. Yeah.
Speaking of surprises, were you surprised by how the whole Chelsea thing went? What was that like, being on an American TV show, which I'm not sure you would have had that experience necessarily before, right?
No, I've never been in an American show, and I was looking forward. I'm a fan of her shows. I watch her sometimes in my, when I'm flying or in my room, and I think she's funny. She can be, aggressive sometimes. She can be aggressive, but I was looking forward, and I think we did a pretty nice interview, and I was relaxed. I always enjoy to be there. I'm always an open person, and I like to talk. And I don't know. I think I watched it after, and I liked it. So I'm like, don't mess up.
How do you think your playing has changed since the last time you were here at the Bank of the West Classic?
Yeah, oof. Well, it's a long time since 3 years, I think. Well, physically I'm different, and mentally also, all the experience that I gained in those 3 years in the big events, in the small events, everything. So I feel much more stronger as a player and confident. So yeah, it's a big change. And I met Courtney here for the first time. I remember.
I'll go way back.
Yes, I remember. I don't know why I remember now.
So did you ask Roger to dance or no?
Well, this is what happened. I was excited to go there, but it was more serious than I thought. I don't know. The British people were very serious. They were always, perfect, very nice, but no rhythm. With no music. And I'm like, there's not even music. I'm like, how am I gonna dance if there isn't even music? So I'm like, if there's no chance that's gonna happen. So no. Yeah, I know. I was looking forward though. Yeah.
When you say that you're hungry, like to keep everything going, what exactly are you hungry for? Like to win titles, to beat the top players? How do you describe the thing that you want?
I'm hungry to win titles and to be, in the top level, of course. It doesn't really matter the number, because I hear a lot of people are 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter. I think I just want to, come here and be in the last rounds and feeling like, I'm getting stronger, and I reach the final rounds. I have the chance to be able to hold the trophy. That's what I want to feel. And some weeks it's not going to happen, but I want to feel like I'm there more often than before.
Who is your role model among women tennis players?
I watched some men's tennis before because I have 2 older brothers. And I was watching a lot of Sampras and Agassi, and I also watch a lot of Martina Hingis and Williams sisters as well.
Going back to Wimbledon, were you aware of sort of the sentiment that everyone was excited about Venus being in the finals? And did you feel either in the stadium or elsewhere that maybe everybody was cheering for her and you were just sort of the other player who was in the final, or how did you perceive
Great.
that?
No, I think, I'm sure it was a very nice story if she has won, of course, but that's not in my mind. I think at the beginning, yes, they were cheering for her, and as soon as I started winning, they were cheering for me, so, you know. And the last 2 years ago, I heard somebody tell me, like, oh, we want new faces, you know. So I'm like, and that really shocked me. I'm like, and they were saying, no, because the last winners, you know, has been winning for 13 years or something like that. So they're like, oh, we want new faces. I'm like, oh. So I felt good when I heard that. So that's what I was thinking, you know, this year. I'm like, no, I mean, of course, maybe the fans want more Venus because she has been there 20 times. I'm like, I'm 23 and she has been there 20 times. It's normal. But I thought, like, why, you know, young person coming up and, you know, just change of generation a little bit. It would be a very nice story, of course, if she has won.
You felt like by the end you had won them over?
Won them over?
You had the crowd on your side?
I think so. I think they changed a little bit, and I don't know, they were following also the match in general. You know, once, if somebody starts winning, you know, they're happy, the other one, it's normal.
You're the youngest of the players to have multiple slams. So do you feel, and with the whole like new faces and all these sorts of things, do you feel like, is there an extra pressure or responsibility or something like that to be, you know, for this next group, you and Ostapinko and, you know, everybody to kind of, I don't know, represent like the next generation or the younger generation?
Yeah, I hear this every day. Everybody's saying, like, who's going to be the next phase and who's going to be, do you see yourself? And I'm like, yeah, for sure there is a good moment. It's a good moment now because it's naturally happening. But after, there is a lot of women now, not girls, women that are in that position. So there is choices, you know. And right now I feel like every week different people are winning, so you never know who's going to be, you know. Now we have a new number one, but it feels like if the other player plays a little bit well in the next tournament, there's going to be a change, you know. So right now, I don't see anybody like super, this one is the new face. So there's diversity now, more diversity.
Is that good?
It's just different than before, of course. Before we were like this one, and that's it. But I think that sooner or later somebody's going to. But right now there is a moment of, you know, options. So I think in a while somebody's gonna. Oh.
Do you expect the Williams sisters to continue to be big forces in the game, or do you think because of the age and in Serena's case having a child, might that start to change? Or
I think if Serena, you know, trains hard, gets in shape, she's gonna be back there. She's too talented and she's too good, you know. For sure, she's gonna give us trouble if she comes back, you know, of course. And Venus, I mean, she just played 2 Grand Slam finals, you know, and she's almost in incredible moments. And I think she wants to play a little bit longer. So I feel that with them, it's gonna depend on how much they want to play. That's it.
With the Bank of the West Classic, what do you think comes with having a bye for this tournament in terms of pressure, but also like advantage? And do you think one outweighs the other?
A bye. Well, I feel like, of course, there is one match you don't play, so that's kind of an advantage, you know. But in the other side, you know, I've been training here, trying to adapt as soon as possible, and with that extra match, we really get into the tournament. So sometimes it's a good thing because the draw is tough. So to get an extra, you know, not a match to not play, you're more fresh to face the tournament. But sometimes the girl that comes from the quali, she's super in shape and she's, you know, playing great.
there's been, Maria's here at this tournament, and there's been sort of different talk from different players about how they feel, whether she, you know, belongs in these events and whether she belongs, you know, should get a wild card into the U.S. Open. Do you have a position on that? How do you feel about the fact that she's here? Are you happy about that, or do you have concerns? Or
I don't really give a lot of thoughts about her being here. You know, I think the people from the doping give her time, and she did the time, and then she has the option to come, and that's it. And I understand a lot of people, you know, are fans of her, and she did great in the past, and the events want to have her, and the events are the ones who decide. Me, it's going to be another opponent if she's here, or if she's not here, it's going to be another one in her place. So it's just simple like that.
Last question?
Gabriñe, so you're now a two-time major champion, and you have Venezuelan roots. I'm wondering, do you feel like, especially in a country like the United States that has a large Latin American population, that might inspire younger players? Your victories might inspire younger players to maybe pick up a racket.
Well, that's something that I really like, when a child comes, or a mom, and she's like, oh, I have my daughter is a fan of yours, and she just wants to play tennis now because she saw you on the TV, all these stories. I'm like, that's incredible, to go through the TV to somebody's life and then making them, deciding to play. And I like that my roots are also Latin American, because I want to give a boost there, because I feel like, it's difficult there to have the facilities or the kids to get involved, and tennis is also a very expensive sport. So I'm trying to, represent that the better I can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.